Pienso que es una decisión muy personal y que no debería delimitar a las personas que buscan ser parte de pues, la milicia o ser militar, porque pues pierden muchos otros beneficios como una carrera, servir a su país, etc. Entonces pienso que la vacuna debe ser totalmente opcional.
I think the mandates are for everybody. I think everybody in general should be vaccinated. That's my personal opinion. But if you choose not to be vaccinated, I don't think that anybody should be told they can't. They have to. I'm absolutely against that.
This is Juan Mendoza reporting for Rebel News. So, with the recent exclusive report that we just published recently looking at the Coast Guard and the vaccine mandates present there and all the staff that's being forced to get vaccinated despite the exemptions.
You saw that we lifted the 50-mile ban for the unvaccinated. You guys understand why we did that, right? It's to try to make life as difficult for them as we can to persuade them to get the vaccine. I couldn't keep my mouth shut over the crowd. I yelled, "That's coercion."
In the building, the unvaccinated had to wear masks, but the vaccinated didn't. And it was almost like hazing. Like they were segregated and they were punished for not being vaccinated to the point where he couldn't even go home to see his dad. We had to cancel plane tickets. It was crazy.
About getting out, they said, "Did you already move your jab bill to your kids?" And I said, "No, I'm going to do that, later this week or next week or something." Like, "Oh, if you didn't do it already, you can't." And I went in and, found out they're right. If you didn't do it already, your kid's college is not covered the way you thought it would be.
We're here to talk with the people of Miami about their thoughts about that report and if they're in favor of vaccine mandates in the Coast Guard. So right now, we also did a story on Coast Guard members that they told us that they were told that they could apply for a medical exemption and they were giving a criteria, and once they showed their stuff that met the criteria, they were lied to. So we're talking to people to see their thoughts on that. So what are your thoughts on the Coast Guard members being lied to about vaccine mandates?
They fall under the federal government, so they kind of should know what they're getting into when they sign up for the military. However, recruiters are really good at just recruiting no matter what. So, but I know that there's shaving waivers and stuff like that in the military from being in the military. So, a religious exemption should be suitable.
Well, absolutely, it's not acceptable. That's not acceptable at all. And I know for a fact that the military does have exemptions for religious reasons or for health reasons. People don't have to be vaccinated. They can be removed from duty if they so choose not to be vaccinated. That's understandable. But to say that they must do it, a mandate has to be given by the federal government. You can't just do that because you think it needs to be done.
Creo que no es honesto de parte de los que están diciendo que al principio les dijeron que sí, que no había problemas y no se vacunaban, y ahorita les están diciendo que su trabajo depende de vacunarse. Entonces creo que no estoy de acuerdo, porque cada persona es libre, es un país libre de tomar la decisión si quiere o no vacunarse. Claro, en mi opinión creo que todos deberíamos vacunarnos, pero no estoy de acuerdo con obligar a la gente a vacunarse y amenazar, y mucho menos amenazándola con su trabajo.
Well, that's a loaded question. That presumes that they were lying. In fact, it could be subject to interpretation. Who really knows what the criteria is? If it's about getting vaccinated, I'm all for it. It's the only thing that's going to drive away this virus. If everybody's immune, and nobody's going to be immune if it constantly mutates and if there's a pocket for it to infiltrate. So I think that vaccine mandates are definitely in the public interest. If you have a legitimate reason why you shouldn't have a vaccine, then I agree, but it should be a case-by-case basis. So clearly the government has its reasons. Maybe they should be revealed a little bit more, maybe explained a little bit more, but I'm sure that there's a legitimate reason why these people who chose not to be vaccinated may or not try to be skirting the exceptions by coming up with a misinterpretation of why they have the exemption basis. So who really knows?
Pienso que es una decisión muy personal y que no debería delimitar a las personas que buscan ser parte de la milicia o ser militar, porque pues pierden muchos otros beneficios como una carrera, servir a su país, etc. Entonces pienso que la vacuna debe ser totalmente opcional.
I think the mandates are for everybody. I think everybody in general should be vaccinated. That's my personal opinion. But if you choose not to be vaccinated, I don't think that anybody should be told they can't. They have to. I'm absolutely against that.
I understand that if this is true, then there should be some disconnection basically between the different elements. So I think the best way to solve this is to have a multi-stakeholder discussion between people and gather all of the stakeholders like Coast Guard, military, etc., and people, also representatives of people, to talk to each other and to get tuned about what they need to do.
This type of coverage in the US is possible because you, the viewers, donate money to help us fund these news trips. Now, if you would like to see trips in the US in the Florida sector as well as the rest of the United States, please go to rebelnewsusa.com.